So here it is, 62 C10 short bed. Just arrived. Customer dropped this thing off and said, let's get this thing back on the road. It's a pretty nice little short bed, pretty straight. Looks like somebody was working on it before. They did some pretty cool things to it. It has a like a 2004, 2005 Yukon frame. And then they adapted the body and the bed to it. Had some airbags at one time. You can see all the lines are corroded from sitting in the Las Vegas sun. But the airbags are good. I had to hook up some special connectors on there. And you can see they put some bracing around the bed. And then interior wise, we're going to have to redo pretty much the whole thing and clean this thing up. It's been sitting for some time in the dust and the wind, and we'll get it cleaned up. But all in all, this 62 is actually a pretty straight truck. It should go together pretty easy. Has a nice stance with the airbags, and we'll get this thing back on the road. Under the hood here, you got a Chevy 350, and then it's been sitting for some time with no valve covers, no carburetor. So we'll see if we could either save this motor, or if we have to replace it, rebuild it. We'll get that all figured out. So I pulled the seat out. That way we could get in here with the power washer and clean all this dust and grime out of here. Okay, so I cleaned out that motor, pulled the intake off, vacuumed it out, cleaned everything I had to, soaked it in some oil, and now I have been cranking it over. I did find some rust inside there. I wanted to see if it'll crank, and it does crank. I'll show you right here. I do got some problems with two lifters right here. Look at that one. When I crank it, you don't do nothing. That's probably because water got into that one, rusted it up, and rusted that line. I could probably try to get that out of there and try to clean it up, but that's where I'm at right now. So with further inspection, we decided we're going to go ahead and pull this motor out. Had a little bit more rust and water through it than we expected. And then we're going to get down to the airbags. We're going to get the airbags figured out, replace the lines, and see if everything's working. And then all in all, we'll get this thing back on the road. First things first, we'll end up pulling this motor and get this thing firing and moving on its own. And then what the plan is, we're going to do a nice engine bay, nice interior, nice bed, but looks like an old truck from afar until you get close to it. And then of course the engine's going to be all dolled up as well. Here we go. Nice fresh 350, going in that 62 C10. Luckily the machine shop already had it ready to go. Didn't have to rebuild the one that I pulled from it. Here's the C10. I got the firewall and everything painted. Had to clean it, degrease it, and just shot it with some chassis paint. Same with the chassis. Makes it look way much better. And then the engine's going to be nice and clean. It'll look like an old truck on the outside, but once you pop the hood, that's going to be all fresh and new. And then I will redo the interior on it, make the interior look nice and clean too. So it's coming together. We're close.